What's up guys, I'm BTC. Yesterday there was a leak about the hero ban system in Overwatch. After the initial one was hinted at by Emong, several other sources also known for leaking content for Overwatch also started putting out rumors that a hero ban system has been worked on by Blizzard for a while now and is likely to release soon. Since I made that video yesterday, I've been getting a lot of questions about how the system will work and what potential problems might happen because of it. Right out of the gate, I'm going to say that hero bans would never have been necessary if Overwatch was properly balanced. I know I'm not going to make a whole lot of friends at Blizzard with that statement, but the fact of the matter is that the game has never been properly balanced, not even remotely close. Since the game has been released, there has been consistently 6 or 7 heroes that are objectively better than the rest of the roster. Sometimes a patch will switch a few of them around, but it doesn't change the fact that a small number of characters are always objectively better and dominating the rest of the game. And not just by a little bit either, it's always by a very large amount. And of course, there is always a bunch of heroes at the bottom of the pick rate who just never get used. Yes, I know the meta is primarily for the pro and upper bracket players, but even if someone is in gold and isn't playing the meta strategy as effectively as they possibly could, that player can still use the heroes in the meta that are there because they are objectively stronger than the rest. As far as the meta goes, there is almost never any kind of viable secondary team comp. Everything always devolves into a mirror match, whether it's GOATs, or Dive, or Double Barrier, it doesn't matter. It's always the same heroes on both teams, again and again and again. Now that I have sufficiently angered the people who work on the Overwatch Hero Balance team, let's get back on track with the hero ban system. I think that it can definitely add some variety to the game. I don't want to diminish that. I think it could definitely improve the competitive situation that we have now. But there are also some very legitimate concerns and problems that go along with the implementation of a hero ban system. So let's start out with how the characters are chosen. We don't know how Blizzard is going to handle it, but there are a couple of different ways that they could. First, they could just make one of the players a team captain. This could be given to whoever has the highest rank, or maybe they're just randomly selected. This player then gets to choose what hero gets banned. And this may cause some issues in itself, because first, the person that gets chosen may not actually want to be the one that's picking. Some people just don't want that responsibility. They don't want to make calls. They don't want to have to decide what the team is going to do. They just want to play and kind of go along with whatever the team is doing. So that's the first issue, right? Maybe the team captain doesn't want to be the team captain. Another problem is maybe the team captain just ignores the rest of the team and does whatever he wants to do. Throwers are a very serious issue in Overwatch, and for whatever reason Blizzard is choosing to pretend that it's not there. But imagine someone bans a hero that one of your teammates wanted to play. It doesn't even have to be a one-trick, it just could be someone that the person wanted to play. There is a chance that the person could now throw the rest of the match, or at a minimum, just start bickering and arguing among the team, all because the team captain banned a character that they wanted to play. This is all before the match even started, by the way, and there's already potential problems. And you better believe that there are going to be some players that will report the team captain for not banning the correct hero. Again, there are going to be people that don't want to be in that position because they don't want to get reported for banning the wrong thing, right? And then you're going to have other team captains who might ignore their team and deliberately try to troll or mess with their team or goof around by banning things that they probably shouldn't be banning. But I don't think Blizzard is going to use a team captain system. I think they're more likely going to use a voting system. And this would make it so that one person doesn't get blamed for picking the wrong thing. One person isn't going to be the focus and isn't going to be solely responsible for all the different stuff that happens, right? If all the players get a say in it, then I think it's going to be less likely that you're going to have throwers and people arguing with each other and stuff. I mean, it's still going to happen, but it will be less likely. Another thing to think about is specific player targeting on the enemy team. I don't think this is going to be an issue for most of the competitive ladder. The number of players in the lower bracket is much greater than in the upper bracket. You're much more likely to have the same players again and again if you're in GM or top 500. And because of this, I think it is quite likely that more than a few one-tricks are going to find themselves forced to play something else. This might be good if they're on the enemy team, but it's definitely not going to be fun if they're on your team. I have a feeling that those players are going to end up getting avoided even more than they already are now. However, I think the biggest potential issue for player-specific targeting has to do with the Overwatch League. The teams know what map they're playing on next and what sort of strategy they want to run and what heroes they're likely to ban. The main problem, though, is when the hero ban occurs. The Overwatch teams have more than 6 players, and they can swap people in and out, and the teams will do this depending on what map they're playing and what strategies they want to run. But if you get up onto the stage and you see, oh hey, the other team is running their one-trick Doomfist, well, then it becomes a pretty simple thing to just ban Doomfist, and all of a sudden, that match just got a whole lot better for your team. Because of this, they may want to have the hero bans and which players are going to be up on the stage kept a secret until the round is ready to start. But this is the Overwatch League. There's lots of other stuff that they could possibly do. We'll have to wait and see for that stuff. Not going to affect most people. There are still other concerns. Something that I've said about the hero ban system ever since it was first recommended quite a while ago is that I don't think there really is enough heroes in the game for hero bans. Specifically, what I'm referring to is that there isn't enough hero overlap or ability overlap. Many of the characters in Overwatch have a unique function, and if you remove that character, then sometimes an entire style of play or an entire team comp gets removed along with it. Some of you might remember the first hero concept I ever created for Overwatch called Ares. One of the things I mentioned during that was exactly that, the lack of ability overlap between heroes. If you look at games like Dota 2, there are over 100 heroes. Each of them is unique, but at the same time, there is a lot of ability overlap among the characters. This means that even if you ban a hero, you can still use a specific strategy, you just have to use a similar hero instead of that first one. Banning that one hero didn't completely ruin the strategy. But I think this is exactly the kind of thing that would probably happen in Overwatch because there are so few characters. For example, removing Lucio will get rid of the only source of speed boost that your team has. This means that certain rush strategies and high mobility just can't be used anymore. Another issue is the idea of a double ban or a secondary ban, and I'm not talking about one team banning more than one hero or both teams banning multiple heroes. What I'm referring to is that there are certain characters in the game that are incredibly dependent on other heroes in order to be effective. One of the biggest examples of this is a Pharah Mercy combo. If one of the teams decides to ban Mercy, then there is sort of an unofficial ban on Pharah as well. Yes, it's possible to run Pharah without a Mercy pocket, but the benefit you get from having one is so incredibly substantial that running Pharah without Mercy is just generally a bad idea. So therefore, banning Mercy is almost like banning both Mercy and Pharah at the same time. It's like a buy one, get one free. This particular issue could be solved by either adding more characters or just properly balancing the ones we have so they're not so dependent on these kinds of synergies. As I said, I definitely think that hero bans will add variety to the game in terms of team composition. This is true in both the Overwatch League and on the competitive ladder. However, this isn't going to solve a lot of the hero balance issues. Some characters are still going to be objectively better than the rest, and some, like Bastion, are still going to be at the bottom objectively worse than the rest. I'm concerned that Blizzard may take the hero ban system and use it to sweep some of these balance problems under the rug and forget about them, rather than actually addressing them and fixing them. The game plainly needs to have more heroes at a much faster rate than 3 a year. Blizzard also needs to rethink how they balance characters, because for the last several years, what they have been doing has clearly not been working. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. You can get some cool gear, join my Discord server, or follow me on social media with the links down in the description below. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters, and remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.